An elite assassin was in the middle of a mission, but he stared at the woman for 1 second too long, missing the perfect chance to pull the trigger. Luckily, Jack had already memorized every habit of his target. He immediately adjusted his aim. The target was supposed to sit in the main seat of the private room. That spot always belonged to the cartel boss. The moment he sat down, the mission would end with a single bullet. But at the crucial moment, the informant inside the restaurant noticed something unusual. The target had changed seats. The reason was simple. It was his daughter's birthday. The little girl was about to perform on stage. The boss wanted to sit closer to her. That sudden change destroyed the entire plan in just seconds. But Jack didn't panic. He calmly put away the sniper rifle and walked straight into the restaurant. The guards checked everyone at the entrance. No weapons were allowed inside, but Jack remained completely calm. The only thing he carried was a car key. A real assassin never depends only on a gun. After entering the restaurant, Jack quickly observed his surroundings. Every exit and escape route was already memorized in his mind. Then he walked into the bathroom. First, he removed his jacket and checked every stall to make sure nobody was there. Then, he put on his gloves and began examining every detail. His eyes stopped on the paper towel dispenser. Jack took out the car key and slowly began taking it apart. At the same time, his partner started the next move. He deliberately bumped into a waiter. The drink spilled all over the cartel boss. The man's expression instantly changed. He tried to control his anger and walked toward the bathroom. The target had already stepped into the trap. Jack was ready. Meanwhile, the boss's daughter was still singing and dancing on stage. The music filled the entire restaurant, perfectly covering what was happening in the bathroom. Within seconds, Jack took down 4 men. Then, he calmly cleaned up the scene. He hid the weapon back inside the dispenser. Everything was fast and precise. Not a single trace was left behind. Jack walked out of the bathroom. He put his jacket back on. It looked as if nothing had happened. He reunited with his partner, and the two immediately left. But they didn't know one thing. Someone was already watching them. With years of experience as an assassin, Jack quickly realized he was being followed. At first, he ignored it, until he stopped at a traffic light. He noticed the driver in front of him secretly adjusting the rearview mirror. At that moment, Jack understood everything. They had found him. At the next corner, he suddenly turned left. Then he slammed the brakes a few streets later. He was testing the person following him. Sure enough, the pickup truck appeared behind him. Jack quickly reversed to avoid it. Then he stepped on the gas. Using the power of the car, he managed to lose them. But Jack knew one thing. This problem wouldn't disappear by itself. When he returned to the hotel, something even stranger happened. He entered the door code, but suddenly his mind went blank. The numbers he knew by heart completely disappeared from his memory. Only after the neighbor spoke to him did Jack regain his senses. He immediately closed the door, but seconds later, someone knocked again. That was when he realized he had left his bag in the hallway. A mistake this simple could cost a professional assassin his life. But first, he needed to find out who was hunting him. Jack opened the safe immediately. Inside were files from all his missions. Every target he had eliminated over the years was recorded there, until he reached a photo of a criminal group. Jack froze. The man standing beside the target was the same person who photographed him on the street. Everything finally made sense. That man wanted revenge. Before taking action, Jack decided to contact the organization. He went to see his boss, who was now working as a chef in a restaurant. The boss quickly discovered the man's identity. His name was Carl. He was now collecting debts for another crime family. If someone killed him without thinking, it could start a new gang war. The boss told Jack not to act yet. The organization would handle it. Jack wasn't convinced, but he chose to trust them. After that, he returned to his hideout and changed his identity again. This time, he looked like an ordinary printer salesman. Jack brought flowers and beer to his daughter's house. That day was also the 5th anniversary of his wife's death. Years ago, his wife was attending a school event when she was accidentally hit by a car driven by someone connected to crime. The killer only received 8 years in prison. Jack was a professional assassin, yet he still couldn't avenge his wife. All he could do was suppress his anger and comfort his daughter. After the family gathering, Jack returned home alone, but when he arrived, he froze. The front door was open. Before he could react, a pickup truck sped past the house. It was the same truck that had followed him before. Jack immediately understood. He should never have trusted the organization. They had already found his home, and his family could be next. Jack decided to stop waiting. He would solve this himself. He contacted his partner immediately and received an important clue. Carl often visited a certain bar. That same night, Jack went there. He found Carl harassing a waitress. No one would miss a man like him. Jack was ready to act. But the boss suddenly appeared and stopped him. Jack could only watch Carl leave. Annoyed, he sat at the bar. Then he started gathering information from the owner. A few minutes earlier, she had defended the waitress herself. It was obvious she disliked Carl. The two started talking quickly. She didn't suspect anything. Carl was a regular customer. The owner knew almost everything about him. With just a few questions, Jack got all the information he needed. Using those clues, he found Carl quickly. But this time, he didn't bring a gun. He brought a baseball bat instead. That way, it would look like a fight between criminals. No one would suspect him. But when he returned home, his police friend brought bad news. The man who killed his wife had been released early. Supposedly, he had helped while in prison. Jack stayed silent for a long time. Now there was another name on his list. But before doing anything, he had to have dinner with his daughter and her family. That day was her pregnancy checkup. Everything went perfectly. Soon, Jack would become a grandfather. But just as they were about to order food, Jack sensed something wrong. The instinct he had developed over years warned him of danger.
Apparently, I was a really sweet baby until bedtime, and I was gone.
The next second, he pushed his daughter away. He didn't even think. He grabbed a bottle and rushed outside. It was the same pickup truck, but this time, they weren't coming for Jack. They were coming for his daughter. They wanted Jack to feel the same pain they had suffered.